All right. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Daniela. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here at the English Language Institute in New York City. I'm here with some special guests today, and we are going to talk about one of our students' experiences here in New York. So, Rebecca, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Rebecca Checo. I'm the admissions coordinator at the English Language Institute at Pace University. Hello, everyone.
And Daniela, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Aguilar. I'm from Colombia, actually from a small town named Caloto, Cauca, but I used to live in Cali. That is one of the principal cities in Colombia and is pretty well known for salsa music, salsa dancers. I have been here in New York 4 years since I came like an au pair, and I studied at Pace University.
Yeah, and I think you studied with us probably about 2 years or so ago, right? It's been a little bit of a while.
Yes.
Okay,
that
great.
Was around that time.
And I know you mentioned you came over as an au pair. Let's just maybe explain quickly to the audience what an au pair is, and just maybe briefly, how did to the US, what interested you in that?
Okay, so the au pair program is a special program that you came to the US with a working visa to work with a family, living in with them and taking care of the kids that they have. And also you get from the family a special amount of money that you can use to study. And one of the conditions from the visa is that you have to study and you need to do certain amount of credits to maintain your visa. And can you repeat the last question? It's just
Let's just say what interested you about, that to come to the US? Like, how did that bring you here?
Okay, so I was in Colombia. I was working in human resources, and I was aware that many companies have employees that speak English. So I searched for different ways to come to the country, and the au pair program was good. Was easy to to get in, to pay it, and I decided to come to study English.
Great.
Did you know you were always going to come to New York specifically, or was it kind of like you got to choose, or you didn't get to choose the state?
So the family you can do a match with family around the whole country. I was hoping that was New York because I came before for vacation and I just love it. Love the environment, the city, everything, and I wanted to come. So I was crossing fingers to find a family
Fingers
here.
Crossed.
Yes, and luckily all the interviews that I had was for New York families, and I did a match with one of them.
Great.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
So I know you've been here for about 4 years now, but do you remember what your first month in the United States was like? I know you came for vacation too, but living here is a little bit different than vacation. So what was that like, and did anything surprise you?
Yes, definitely is different because when you come for vacation, you are just like in a tourist mode and you are just with friends. But when I came here, I was aware that I want to be here 1 year. I was a little afraid because I didn't have friends here. All my family was back in Colombia, my friends. I was scared to feel alone, but also the program helps because you come to live with a family, so they are pretty much a support for you. So they help me to understand a little how the city works, to understand, for example, basic things like uptown or downtown in the subway that, oh my God, it's so simple now that you live here for that long. But at the beginning is what? Because some stations you can connect, other no, you don't want to pay extra for, for that mistake. So
yeah, I was going to ask you if you how was your experience with riding the subway? Because I know many cities, many countries have their own form of metro, but New York, specifically New York City, is well known for their subway. And it can be like intimidating. People who come from different cities, people who come from different countries definitely can be, it can be overwhelming because the people on the train, as you know, some of them are really nice and some are not. So if you're lost, you have to like, you know, get the confidence to ask someone where am I going or how do I get there? And you know, sometimes you'll get a good response, sometimes you won't. So yeah, how was that learning like the subway of New York City? It's exciting though. It's very exciting.
Yes, it took me time to get it.
Yeah.
And thank God, all the times that I need help was I asked like some MTA
Yeah.
employees or police, or
Yeah.
usually I ask women with babies
Yeah.
because they are kind of
Yeah.
nicer.
A little bit nicer,
I
yeah.
don't ask someone that is like in a pretty full suit because I know that they are rushing for work or something. So you need to try to search for someone that maybe is not in a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here everyone is in a rush, so that pretty much help to get that situation out of that situation. And yeah, it's just that at the beginning you are afraid to ask, but even if they don't understand you, someone always, for example, in my case, I speak Spanish. It's my native language. So always someone speaks Spanish a little bit. If they don't understand you, you can use your phone to
Yeah.
translate. So you have a lot of resources that help you to ask and get the answer you need to get to your destination.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So we know what brought you to New York, but I'm curious to know what brought you to Pace. Do you remember what interested you or how you found out about us?
Yes. So with the Upper program, one of the local coordinators sent us information regarding the options that we have for study English. One of those was space. I had two friends that studied there. They like it a lot. They recommend it. And also I went to visit the campus and was pretty awesome, was beautiful, even if that in that time was in construction.
Okay.
Yeah, but was pretty nice, and also was near to the subway that I need to take to get there was near to my house, so was pretty convenient to get there. Um, yeah, that was
We'll have to
basically.
get you back because the construction is over, thankfully. Well, at
Yes,
least
it is
that phase
over.
of construction that you saw. So we went under the multi-million-dollar renovation and expansion of the student spaces, and it's really beautiful. All the student centers, brand new, lots of event spaces. So we'll have to get you back once this COVID is over to see.
Yeah, I think because it before was pretty good, now I'm sure it's even better.
So when you were taking classes, did you notice any difference with studying in the US versus back home in Colombia? And what was that like?
Um, I studied in a big university,
Okay.
so the university was pretty much the same like here, but the main difference is like everything here is in English, so you really are like you really have the necessity to speak English, to use the resources. You can speak with other classmates in English because they are from different parts of the world. So if you don't speak English, you cannot communicate with them. So that is, I think, basically the difference. But everything else, the methodology and everything, I think was pretty much the same.
Do you have any classmates you remember like where they were from and that you still keep in touch with or like?
Yeah, my classmate back then were from um, China, Japan, Greek, Brazil, Costa Rica, Israel. I think was one for Pakistan, Germany. So, was a pretty mixed group.
Diverse, yeah.
Yeah, I keep in touch with few of them, especially because, Instagram and other social media helps you to keep in touch with them. And that is pretty nice because after we finish the class, we keep in touch and we meet, but COVID happened, so we have just been online.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there any class in particular that you really enjoyed, that was your favorite, or something you did in class that you'll remember, like an assignment?
Yeah, definitely my favorite class was writing.
Ah.
Yes, writing and grammar. And I remember a lot Patrick.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still there. He was really nice. And also he was our counselor there. So I think that he understands from different perspectives the students, so that makes everything like easy at the class, and he tried to make everything interesting. We have different activities in between the writing and the grammar. He gave us a lot of information about websites, different resources, videos, and he teach us how to use it during the class. And also he was pretty much available to talk with you if you have any questions. Not only him, all the professors, if you have any question, they was pretty open to talk with you after the class, or if reply your email. So I think that was like something pretty nice from the professor at the class.
What other courses did you take?
Yeah, reading and vocabulary. So I took just those two courses because was easy for my schedule.
Right.
Then between the job and the English classes, and I took in different levels. So I have different professor back then.
Nice.
Well, Patrick's still here, and I'm sure he's gonna be really excited for the shout out that you gave him. I'm gonna share that with him as soon as we're done today. I mean, besides, classes are a huge part of the student experience, but it's not the only part of your experience, when you study with us. Is there anything, else you really remember about being a student at Pace that, bring you have happy memories and brings you a lot of joy that you're very fond of?
Yeah, definitely. Back then, on Fridays, we have a special activity with you, Daniel, that I enjoy definitely a lot. That was different activities that we did with other students, not just to my class or for all the courses that was available back then. So we did tours for Brooklyn. We went to movie together. The whales that we did also with the other campus. What is the name of the other campus?
In the Westchester. We went to Westchester
and New York City that we went to watch the whales.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. And with the biology students. Yeah, that helps, not just because you help us to know more about the city, but also you can make more friends from different classes, talk about the experience. You also was working like in activities regarding the holidays, so was the Friendsgiving thing. Yes, that is something particular from the city. So that helps you to understand culturally, to practice your English skills, to know the city. So definitely that was a plus from the English classes that any other university or college offer. So.
I think what's really nice too is, in the summer, we're lucky that we get to do that mostly every Friday. The weather is beautiful in New York City in the summer. Like nobody wants to be inside, it can get a little hot sometimes. So we try to be outside as much as we can. But, a student can come for as short as 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and they can still get to experience so much through the activities and make friendships, like I think it's really nice for them to hear that outside of class, there's so much more value to other experiences. And I remember you went on a lot of the trips, so you definitely
Yeah,
took advantage
I
of
was
it, which
there.
is great. I
I
remember
was
Do
you
you
were
there
have
every
always
a
on the
favorite
time.
list.
one?
Every Friday, you're on the
Do you
list.
have a favorite one, Daniela? Like one you can remember? I know you mentioned the Wales one, so maybe that was it.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome because, you
Yeah.
know, we experienced together, we take the ferry together to get to the point that the trip is going to start. We get to saw the whales. And so that was a pretty cool experience. That was
That's
definitely my
nice.
favorite.
And that was with,
It's like
the
a journey.
biology. Sorry.
Biology, yes.
Yeah, I was with the biology students, and the teacher too, I think, was leading it, right? So you got to,
Yes.
there was some education behind the whales, but yeah, the whales were great.
Yes, for
Awesome.
us was more like that, but for the biology students was like they have like microscopes
Uh-huh.
there that they can use, and there was like a whole class there. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Nice.
So, outside of class, a lot of our students will say, how will I know my English is improving? How do I know that it's working? So I'm curious to know if you can think about which ways the classes just helped you, in your daily life. Like we talked about the subway, and asking for directions and probably getting some more confidence. But did you notice it any other way that your English was improving during your program with us, or even afterwards with especially the writing skills maybe that Patrick taught you?
Okay, yeah. So, for example, when you watch a movie and now you can do it without the titles and you
Mm,
understand that, or you listen music and now you was blah 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 blah, and you was singing, but you even understand what you was singing, and you start to catch part of the song. So that is like good clue that your English is improving. When you write an email and the corrections are that for example, email shows are less than before. And when you speak with someone and they understand you, when you don't understand and you can ask, and after the second time you understand, and before was three times that you wasn't even close what they was
mhm.
talking to you. So those are small signs that your English skills are improving, and everything counts. So
Right.
um,
I think that's important too. Yeah. Even if it's really small, it still
Mhm.
counts. But the subtitles is huge.
That is a
That's
big thing.
a big step. A lot of the students will always comment on that. They say, I don't need the subtitles anymore, which I think is really great to hear.
Yeah.
definitely.
So then we also wanted to check in about just, maybe some advice you might have. I know there's students and families that are watching. So Rebecca, did you have any questions about Daniela's experience? Maybe she can share for the students. I know you see in the admissions role, you talk to these students and families a lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely Daniela. And everyone, I'm the first point of contact for students. So I speak to a lot of the students and their questions about our classes, about the experience taking classes in New York City. I'm now speaking to more like the families because they're sending their children to the United States to study English. So, I mean, that by itself, it's like kind of crazy because like a lot of them, it's their first time away from home and they're in a different country where they don't speak the language. Many of them don't really have family here. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I think a lot of the students just wanted to know like what the experience is. I think it's really great that you enjoy the diversity of the class and the different students that are in the class. It's not just au pairs, it's not just students who speak Spanish, it's not just students who are from Colombia. I'm sure a lot of the students that were in your class were not just au pairs either, right? They were
Yeah,
probably from different backgrounds. So I think it's really, really great that you enjoyed that because it's something that we promote. We want different students to take our classes, to enjoy our classes, to meet one another because New York is so well known where you can meet someone different every single day, like from somewhere that you
around.
might have never thought of
Sure.
even visiting. And you're like, wow, wow. And you have so much in common. And I think it's really great that that was like something you really enjoyed. Cause I love that too. Like, you know, when we were in the office, and we will be back in the office, but pre-pandemic, I was speaking and meeting students from everywhere. And they were so excited to be in New York City. And I just love hearing their excitement, because then it makes me excited being a New Yorker, because I love being from New York.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love definitely New York. And my advice for whatever is watching this video is that even with the pandemic, New York has a lot of things to offer.
Yeah.
There are pretty much activities to do in the city. I know that you feel afraid to leave your family, your comfort, your friends, but always you can make new friends here. Even if you are shy, you can, you will not make 10 friends at once, but when you have
Right.
one friend, that is more than enough to start to working in a network. And at the office, I remember that all the staff, the counselors, and also the classmate, they understand your situation, your classmate, because they are in the same situation that you. If you don't understand something, don't be shy to ask. You can ask whatever times you need, because the point is get the information. And pretty much,
Absolutely.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
We encourage our students to ask any questions, because if you're asking, that's most likely means that another student wants to know. And never be too shy to ask questions, because we're here to help. You know, we want you to enjoy PACE. We want you to enjoy New York City, New York, whichever campus you take classes with us. So that's important.
Yeah, and the idea to being in person is super cool because the campus is pretty nice. They have a lot of resources. The library is huge and beautiful, and you can, if you're in the campus, you can print whatever you need, and it's cheaper than outside. And you have
Did
space.
you drink Starbucks? Because you went to the one in New York City, right? Did you
Yes,
go to the Starbucks a lot? And you
yes.
were here.
The cafeteria was my favorite part of the campus, because you have different options. The food is
Yeah.
very good. You have Starbucks inside, so you don't need to worry for anything.
Yeah.
And also the library have special places to study if you wanted to be alone. Always, if you don't want to bring your computer, always you will find a computer available at the library.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to borrow a book and they don't have it, because I know that you can read now in your tablet, phone, whatever, but some people prefer the paper and feel it,
Yeah.
and the old school. So if they don't have it, they can borrow from pretty much any
Mhm.
library in the state, and I guess in the country if you need it, but pretty much the state is more than enough. But they have that kind of connections that will help you. And yeah, and it's the best way to know people. And if you want really to learn English, online is gonna be okay. But when you have the necessity to speak to get whatever you want, even your food, your drink, or answer a question, that is the plus and the difference, and that is where you see really the improvements. Because if you are back home, you are studying English, but you want to speak in your own language with your dad, with your friends.
Right.
So that doesn't make the difference, because I studied English before, but that was the problem. I was just 1 hour in the class speaking English, and I crossed the door and I was speaking Spanish. So I didn't see the improvement that I see when I came. I use it every day in my daily things. So
Your daily life. Yeah, I mean, you're not just speaking English in that classroom, you know, when you're taking classes with us. You're speaking when you have to go, you know, outside of the classroom, when you're ordering food, when you're passing somebody by, when you're at a Dwayne Reed or Walgreens just picking up something, you're constantly using English. So it makes you continue, like you're practicing your skills, and you're also gaining confidence into
yeah.
speaking, you know, speaking with other people. And about other things, like other conversations. So
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
yeah, and something that one of the professor told me is that you train your brain to think in English, because
Yeah.
my brain, or specifically, works in Spanish, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'm doing the translation. But when you are in this environment, your brain starts to think in English.
In English, yeah.
I always like to say, because we do an orientation before classes start for all the students, and you can see a big difference between the students like first day at orientation and even 2 weeks later, the way they're able to kind of listen. And this is true even for the beginner level students, like they're just a little bit more aware and alert. And I always like to say, like, their ears are working now for English. We always say their ears are turned on, because at first it is such a shock when you first get here with just hearing everything in a language that's not your first language. But it goes away, and I always tell people that. And I know all of our staff, for the most part, all of our staff have lived overseas at one point, whether for study abroad or for teaching overseas. So we've all experienced that ourselves, and we're really aware of that for the students, that's the experience they're having. But it is nice, like you said, your brain will start to think in English. Like, it will happen. You have to just give yourself the chance, but it will happen. Don't worry, like, it'll start to work. Great. Well, I think, is there anything else you want to just share or say before we sign off today? I think I usually ask for any advice for families, but you just had a lot of great advice in that last part. So if there's anything else you want to say.
No, I did. I say everything that I wanted to say to the future PACE students.
Great. Rebecca, is there anything you want to ask last minute before we go today?
No, I'm just really happy to hear that you had great memories with us, Daniela, and that you continue to, practice English and you're using it in your daily life. And yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that you enjoyed everything that we want our students to enjoy. So it's pretty awesome. Thanks so much for telling your story.
Thank you for inviting me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Danielle. It was really great to have you here today. And I know everyone that watches this is really going to enjoy hearing your story. And it's going to make it a lot easier for them just to think about what life in New York could be like, learning English and just hearing how valuable and how important it is. So thank you so much.